let's go and talk about that New England offense, because that is kind of where the conversation has to take us. And tell me, because you actually named this episode before I joined, the Will Campbell episode. Like, what's your gripe? Let's hear it.
There's so much discourse on Twitter and everything else, and I'm not going to jump into the deep end there and I'll give my take, whatever else. You have Duke Manyweather, you have Mitchell Schwartz, so you probably have both Schwartzes talking about it at this point, about Will Campbell needing to be moved to guard, right? His arms are too short. You got to move him inside, whatever else. Okay, fine. Then what? Who's your tackle? Who are you going to put at left tackle to protect Drake May? You just made it to the Super Bowl. You're picking 31st in the NFL draft. They're not just going to let a franchise left tackle fall to you at 31 in the draft. Maybe you get Monroe Freeling if you're lucky. Maybe, if that. I mean, you're playing with fire. So what's your plan? You're going to go to free agency? Have you looked at the list of free agents in 2026 at offensive tackle? There's maybe one name that can kind of get you excited as a Patriots fan at offensive tackle, and it's your boy, Rasheed Walker. That's not like, this isn't an all-pro player. This isn't someone you just say, we don't have to worry about the opposing defense and whoever they have at edge rusher because we got Rasheed Walker at left tackle now. Like, hey, if you're in the AFC and you're in the playoffs, you're still going to have to worry about Will Anderson if Rasheed Walker is your left tackle. Like, that doesn't solve all of your problems. So regardless of the arm length and where you think Will Campbell projects best, what is your plan? You can't just say move him inside and then you're just going to shake a tree in the backyard and a left tackle is going to fall out to protect Drake May for the next 10 years. What's your plan? You're picking too late in the draft. And you know what the plan is. But here's the thing, Chris. Your roster, which we talked about before the Super Bowl, and it was on display, your roster is not so strong that you can mortgage future assets to move up to get a tackle in the draft that you feel so strongly about. You still have holes elsewhere on this team. Your receivers, your number one receiver is old, right? Your defense has one, maybe two cornerstone players on it. You have a young quarterback you still need to build around. You don't have any other game breakers there that you can really rely on. This was an 8-9 win roster that rode a really hot quarterback, young quarterback who's going to be around for a long time, to the Super Bowl. But to sustain that, you need a stronger roster. So you can't mortgage the future on this one position just to cover the blind side because you have holes elsewhere. And that's even if you just assume that Will Campbell is just going to immediately take to offensive guard and have no adjustment there either. There's so much more than just, he's got short arms, move him inside. We talked about this in our episode, in our Will Campbell film study last year that, hey, he may be a good guard. I can kind of see it. But he's played a year at tackle, and there's going to be an adjustment. Things move very fast on the interior of the line there, and he's got to be quicker with his punch regardless. So it's crazy how quickly the narrative can shift based off of one game when you are so close to the mountaintop. And then you get just knocked down, and now you're looking around and going, we got the 31st pick. We draft late in every round, and we have to improve upon what's really like a 9-win roster. And that's what the Patriots are looking at right now. And you don't solve all your problems by kicking Will Campbell inside, the fourth overall pick, thinking you're going to nab someone at 31 who's just going to be better and just waltz right in there and fix all your problems on the offensive front. It's not how it works unless you get extremely lucky.
The answer's on the roster. His name's Michael Onwenu. He's the guy they move around the offensive line, and they're going to move him again. That's what's going to happen. No, but in reality, Ray, I think you're forgetting something even more kind of monumental for this team. You have free agent money to spend it, so I'm not going to knock them for doing that last year, right? But let's look at the offensive line in its totality, right? At right tackle, you have 34-year-old Morgan Moses, so you don't really have an answer at right tackle either. That's going to get old fast. Right at right guard, you have Michael Onwenu if you keep him there, which we know they don't. At center, you have Garrett Bradbury, who was also pretty bad yesterday, right? Like he had a rough game also. Then at who's their left guard? Jared Wilson. Okay, rookie, played well. Let's keep that one going. But then you have you have Will Campbell. And who are your receivers? Who are your trusted long-term receivers? Diggs with a lawsuit, Kyle Williams, Demario Douglas. Like, it's okay, right? Like, it's okay, but you don't have your superstar receiver either. So this roster has a lot more to figure out than just left tackle, right? Like, my hope is you let Will Campbell play the position again next year, see if he could figure it out, because honestly, I think that's what you have to do. You drafted him that early. You need to kind of stick with it. Hope Morgan Moses is back for another year. You know, again, you have Jared Wilson, but what else do you have? Like, you need to draft interior offensive linemen in a big way. You need to figure out receiver in a big way. And you got to hope that your defense can sustain the success that they had. Like, that's really what this roster needs to do.